It's Monday. You know what that means. Time for the hottest sports podcast in all the universe. And much like a certain Chicagoan, we're breaking the internet, going viral. It's the Flex Zone Podcast. The only place giving you sports how you want it when you need it. Episode 418. CM Punk is back in WWE. We're going to talk all about it. Talk all about it. Immediately. Ravens 9-3 heading into the bye week, number 1 seed. Commanders get embarrassed on Thanksgiving. I know Cavante's got a lot to say. We're recapping week 12. We're looking ahead to week 13. Got a coach already fired in the NFL. And we're looking back at the game as Michigan took down the Ohio State. If you're watching right now, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell. Sound off in the comments and donate to that Cash App. It's the Flex Zone Podcast, episode 418. Shout out to everybody in the chat. It's the only place giving you sports how you want it when you need it. Flex Zone Podcast coming to you right after this. More earth-shattering and surprising than the return of CM Punk back to WWE is the Flex Zone Podcast, fellas. Only place giving you sports how you want it.
When you need it.
Episode 418. CM Punk is back in WWE. Ravens are 9-3, number 1 seed. Commanders get embarrassed. Michigan defeats Ohio State again. Frank Reich, he out of here. And of course, we got to talk about the week that was in the NFL. Some great games and possibly the game of the year up in Philly. And we got to look ahead to the week 13 as we're heading into the month of December. It is the Flex Zone Podcast. Again, episode 418. You guys know what we mean. Getting things started the right way with our boy, my boy, social media producer, Big Raj. He was out and about this weekend celebrating. It's a Victory Monday. And you already know, Big Raj in the building.
Finish him, Daddy.
No bread, no water, just meat.
And I had plenty of it this weekend. Plenty of meat to go around. But yes, it was a pretty good weekend. Although that whack-ass Ravens game yesterday pissed me off. So glad we have a bye week coming. And so glad we don't have to talk about the Ravens. But yeah, man, it still was a good weekend though. And can't wait to see what Cody Rhodes. Can't wait to see what CM Punk has to say in about probably 10 minutes after this match goes off.
Next man's the captain of the goofy ship. We ain't playing no Commanders theme today because I know he's putting boots to asses much like The Rock. Cravante, he's wearing all black because he's burying the entire Commanders organization. Getting them out here.
Yep.
You need more? Okay. You need
Yep. Hurt. And it does not hurt me more than it hurts you. Okay, I don't want that. I don't want to get that confused with nothing. Okay, I'll get into my organization continuing to be a terrible organization later, but always good to be here. Monday evenings as usual, weekly basis. Me with my guys. Let's get into it, guys.
Thank you, everybody in the chat. Make sure I hit that like button. And last but not least, the patriarch of the Flex Zone, the tribal chief, the Flex Zone Messiah, the best in the world. He was in Chicago this weekend, had a great weekend, putting out great things for the channel. The super producer, the man of 1,000 nicknames, the Proud East Side Savior, Misbehavior, the 20, Mr. 25-8, the A-lister, the phenomenal one, my boy Drizzy, Dre. The Dean of Baltimore University, Mr. Morgan State University.
Hey, what's going on, my brothers, and what's going on, America? Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Yes, I was in one of my favorite cities this past weekend, Chi-Town, and I'm going to tell y'all all about my experience.
Yes, real quick before we get back to Dre, he was in Chicago. I want to get his thoughts on the weekend and the CM Punk return. Follow us at the Flex Zone 1, Twitter, Instagram, the Flex Zone Podcast, and email the flexzone1@gmail.com. Throw your ones up. Acknowledge the head of the sports podcast table. Thank you guys for a great weekend on the channel. We'll talk more about that later. Don't want to waste any more time. Dre, your boy CM Punk is back. You were there to witness it live. You were in Chicago. You saw SmackDown. You saw Survivor Series. How was your weekend, my guy?
Man, awesome weekend. Honestly, this was a trip that I had put on my calendar for quite some time. I had booked my flight going to Chicago, so I knew that I was going to go. But then it was kind of confirmation last week on Raw when they said that they still had tickets available. I was like, okay, let me fly into Chicago, take a gamble. Went there. Put my stuff in my hotel, went straight to the arena, got some tickets, and then saw SmackDown that night. It was SmackDown was pretty okay. Seeing Bianca out there, Charlotte, Becky, uh, the tag match with Becky and Charlotte against Damage Control. That was probably one of the highlights out there. They had a couple of dark matches, like they had Seth and Seth out there versus the Judgment Day of Dominic and what do y'all call him? Y'all call him McNugget or something.
He can be McNugget,
They had that match,
McDougal,
McFlurry, McRib, McDouble,
McJackass, Mc everything, McFoley.
and
McCommander.
then they had, and then they had one other dark match. I don't even really recall that match. But then the following day, like SmackDown wasn't as packed as the Survivor Series. Survivor Series, I mean, traffic was crazy. Like I had my Uber driver couldn't even take me as close to the venue as possible. I had to walk over actually. It was that many people in Chicago for the Survivor Series. It was really really packed. The women's War Game match started like it did last year, and then I actually thought Damage Control was actually going to win this match because they had lost last year, but Damage Control ended up losing this match again, and then you had a couple of matches in between, like the Miz and Gunther. That was cool. It was better than what I expected it to be. I saw JD talking about Santos and Dragon Lee. I felt like they should have had more time. I think they gave Mommy's match too much time. You saw Rhea out there against Zoe Stark. I was like, that match shouldn't have been as long. We already knew that she was going to dominate. But then the men's match, I mean, to be there, that's what drew me in, though. Seeing the return of my boy Randy Orton, and then you can see WWE just milked his return until the very last second, teasing a cash in. Randy comes out. I'm expecting Randy to turn on Jay, and that didn't happen. But what did end up happening, though, which was everybody, we heard the rumors, but we were unsure. And we're actually going to talk to Corey later on in the show about it. But we all talked about it, possibly CM Punk being there, talking to different people when I'm in Chicago. Like, is Punk going to really be here tonight? And sure enough, that when that music hit, and I felt like Punk, I felt like the possibility was there after the War Games match ended with the men, because you see the cameraman, he's going down the aisle and he's right there as if somebody's about to come out, but you just don't know who. So I try to get my phone out as soon as possible, and then you just hear the personality music.
Living Color.
And man, it's clobbering time. That arena to be. You said what?
I said Living Color.
Oh yeah, to be there was just like, it was just something that like you just had to experience. Like I was there when The Rock came back at WrestleMania to take on John Cena in Miami, and that stadium was just rocking. It was a similar feel for an arena. I've never been to anything like that ever in my life, where the arena is just like the roof, like Gorilla Monsoon used to say, the roof is just this place has just gone bananas. Like the roof is blown off.
On fire.
The
Rufus.
Chants were just unbelievable, man. I mean, everybody was just so happy, not only for the return of CM Punk, but for him to do it in his hometown of Chicago. I mean, it was a must see experience, and something that I'm glad that I was able to experience. Definitely worth the money, and a trip that I don't regret going on.
Raj, let's get your thoughts, and Dre, we'll circle back to this conversation once we hear what he has to say. I know he's about to come out now, and once you get settled. And Corey, as you mentioned, is coming on later. Corey Saunders, who's avid wrestling fan, Eagles fan as well. So a lot to talk about with him and Ohio State. So go ahead, Raj.
Well, I'm gonna keep this nice, short, and sweet because I want Cavante to have as much time as possible to shit on his Commanders. But I just want to say I can't wait to see what CM Punk is about to say in about a couple minutes. But it was, like I said, like I told you before on last night's post game show, I'm a little conflicted about his return because he did a lot of things, said a lot of things in interviews where he was not happy with the company when he left. He said he would never return to the company. Even went to AEW for the last couple of years and shitted on WWE over there as well. But I want to see how he explains himself to the WWE audience, and I want to see we already know how the audience is going to take it, but I just want to see how he spends this and what's going to happen. So yeah, man, it's almost here. It's almost time. Definitely want to hear what he has to say. The pipe bomb might be dropped again. But yeah, let's see how they end the show with CM Punk.
Before we get to Commanders talk, because Cavante will have the floor. Cavante, I want to start with you, brother. Let's hit some quick hitters real quick. Frank Wright, he gone out of Carolina, 1-10 start,
Punk
0-6
time.
on the road. Did you see this? Oh, I guess did we see this coming, or did you at least wait till the end of this?
No. It's tough to get. I feel like it's always a little unfair for a coach to be there year one with a rookie quarterback and to have high expectations. Now, granted, the Panthers had injury problems. They gave up a lot to have the opportunity to get Bryce Young, and I think they're feeling the after effects of that. I don't know what firing Frank Reich would do because he's a quarterback guy, and you have a rookie quarterback. So I don't know. You're going to stunt Bryce Young's growth at this point. Now, I believe he is the first coach to be fired in back-to-back years, if I'm not mistaken. But it's really unfortunate because he is really a good coach. But word on the street is it was a lot of cooks in the kitchen down in Carolina, and I don't know if Frank Wright was ready to deal with all the turmoil that the Carolina Panthers had to offer. But I hate that for him, and I hate it for Bryce Young because how is this team going to get better? At least in the short term, how is the team going to get better next year? Because I don't know if y'all know this or not, but the first round pick is not theirs; it's the Bears. So yeah, this looks like it's going to be a setback for now. Well, for now, Bryce Young. So, but no, Byron, I did not. I did not see this coming. How does Ron Rivera still have his job? I don't know.
Raj, any thoughts real quick on the Frank Wright firing?
Yeah, man, I just thought that Frank Wright, he didn't have the proper tools around him. They really didn't have any offensive weapons for Bryce Young. They didn't have the offensive line for Bryce Young. It was a lot of things going against them. And as you can see, it turned out to be his firing and his undoing. But hopefully, he gets another offensive coordinator job and he builds himself back up again. But it was just a tough situation with the Carolina Panthers.
Dre, you still there, brother? Any thoughts on it before we move on to get Cavante thought about his Ohio State Buckeyes?
Man, honestly, it's goofy. Why would you fire this man when the season's basically over? I just don't understand why they did it. At least wait to the end of the season. It's not totally on Frank Wright. You got to cut out this whole thing about why Bryce Young was selected the number one quarterback. When you look at it and the numbers and everything that he was doing coming out of Alabama, they made the right pick in selecting selecting Bryce Young over C.J. Stroud. It's just that C.J. Stroud, sometimes that's just how the ball rolls. You may go into a better situation. You never know how things are going to pan out. It's all about coaching. It's about the team. It's about a lot of other factors in. But right now, the owner of the Carolina Panthers is probably the one of the worst owners in all of the NFL. So this is no surprise that well, it's a surprise that he was fired, but more stuff like this is probably bound to happen, and not for the betterment of the Carolina Panthers. And I feel sorry for Bryce Young when it comes to the situation, because he might end up in a situation like how Justin Fields is or how Mac Jones is, where you, without the coaching and the proper team behind you, you may not develop, and your NFL career could be cut very short before your first big contract ever comes to fruition.
Let's keep it moving. Cravante, I want to go to you, man. Michigan defeats the Ohio State 30-24 in D game. It lives up to the hype, man. It was a very good game. Started off a little slow, but boy, did it pick up. Ryan Day 0-3 against Michigan.
I my my roommate got a cat, so it's around here somewhere.
I think I
Um,
saw it, but it's all good.
so um, but that's a tough one. That is a tough loss, and for any head coach in for the Ohio State or Michigan, it's either Ohio State or Michigan. Though that is your whoa, that is your that's your game. And Ryan Day does not have a good record against Jim Harbaugh. So now it's all eyes on him, even though they were undefeated all the way up until now, and still have an opportunity to make the college football playoffs. But that's a stain. Like, now you have to win the national championship at this point. That's the only way. That's the only way to get over this. And chances are, to win a national championship, you're gonna have to go through. You're gonna have to go through them at some one point, or another. But Michigan came to play, man. Michigan for sure came to play. I didn't think they'd be able to do it uh, without Jim Harbaugh, antics and enthusiasm and all that extra stuff you get from an animated head coach on the sidelines. And they did it without. They played a hell of a game, and hats off to them. And they did have the home field advantage, but the Ohio State was more than capable of winning the game, and they did not come to play.
Raj, any thoughts real quick?
I didn't actually see the game, so I'm not even gonna lie to you. But it doesn't surprise me that Michigan won. They've been doing this since Jim Harbaugh has been suspended for the last 3 games. To be honest with you, this could be Jim Harbaugh's year to win the national championship. It seems like they're going in that direction. The only team that's in that way is Georgia. They might end up meeting each other. We'll see. But yeah, it doesn't surprise me. The Ohio State was this close, but yet still so far away.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dre.
No, they weren't close, man. Michigan had this in the bag. I felt like without Harbaugh there on the sidelines that Michigan would struggle, but surprisingly, they actually came out with a really good game plan. They were running the football well. They were doing what they needed to do, and it just seemed like the Ohio State should have been able to pull this one out. And now they're talking about Brian Day may be on the hot seat because he hasn't beaten the Ohio State, being 0-3 now against this team with and without Harbaugh. What it's telling me is that Michigan is definitely going to the national championship game. They're good with and without Harbaugh, but I mean with Harbaugh ultimately. But they'll need Harbaugh in order to get to the championship. I think it's going to be Michigan and Georgia at this point, and I think that what's telling me about Michigan is that they're here to stay. This is not no fluke. This is not just this is not just for the year, but this is something that's gonna I think that's gonna last. I could really see them possibly winning the championship even over Georgia at this point, especially with a high victory over the Ohio State right now, and maybe Michigan projects themselves to be the number one seed.
Told you, Dre. They cut Punk right off at 11 o'clock. Told you. We'll
I
get
heard,
back
I heard
up.
the Christmas jingle, so I had to, the
Oh,
jingle
okay.
along with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Cravante, Thanksgiving was on Thursday, and the whole world
Was it?
got to see your team play, America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, and they got beat like a drum, 45-10. Got embarrassed. Jack Del Rio, he gone. I believe what the secondary DB's coach, he's fired. Cravante, I just got to give you the floor, man. What the hell happened on Thanksgiving? And what is the future of this team, man? Will they win another game even this season?
Um, it's a dumpster fire. It is a dumpster fire. Thankfully, the Washington Commanders organization isn't the only dumpster fire going on, but it's a dumpster fire, and it's been a dumpster fire for quite some time. In this Turkey Day game against the Dallas Cowboys, I don't understand. I feel like they quit. I felt like they quit, especially in the second half. The first half is like, well, at least let me say the first quarter at least. They felt they had some fight. You know, they had some fight. You just knew they were overwhelmed, but they still had some fight in them. But as the game went on and the game progressed, they quit. That's just what it is. I feel like they quit. And I mean, gosh, Dallas could do whatever, whatever they wanted to do, and got and already had some home cooking. Guys on the sideline eating turkey legs, during the game and all this stuff, just jumping into the Salvation Army, pot. You remember Ezekiel Elliott used to do that back in the day. Two guys jumped to the pot this past game, and I said, "Oh boy, this is real bad. This is real bad." And at this point, nobody looks good, and them, and I'm not going to get my wish that Ron Rivera be gone before the end of the season, because I keep hearing reports that that they're going to keep him till the end of the season, which I'm like, why? But one out of one is gone. Jack Del Rio is gone, and I just need Ron Rivera gone. But unfortunately, it looks like he's going to stay the rest of the year, which also means that's not good for Eric Bieniemy, because it looks like that he doesn't have a shot at getting the interim, at least the interim head coaching job, because we all see the same shit show. We all see the same shit show. There's no way that you think Mr. Arms folded. Exactly. There's no way you think Mr. Arms folded. Exactly. There's no way you think that Mr. Arms folded deserves to keep his job. At this point, might as well give EB the interim tag for the next, 6 games or whatever, however many games we got left. It can't end fast enough. But that also doesn't look like it's going well for Eric Bieniemy. So moving forward, it's looking like they're not gonna keep anybody. It's looking like everybody can go next year, because even Eric Bieniemy, it's like it's like they have a good game plan, but they're not executing in the red zone. They're not executing when they need to. They're not executing on third down. They're not executing on first down. They're not executing on none of the key downs in the red zone. They're not getting any points. They can move the ball. They got spurts where they can move the ball from time to time, but when it comes down to it and they need points, they do not get them. It's just, unfortunately, it is what it is. And now Eric Bieniemy is, well, thankfully he's not the head coach, so Ron Rivera is going to get all the heat. But I don't know what's going to happen to EB next year either. So that's disheartening. But it looks like nobody's going to be left as far as head coaching. in any of the staff, GM, everybody's going to be gone. The one good thing, you, the one good thing is that I don't think they'll win another game. I think the Commanders' last shot at winning the game was against the Giants, and they did not. So them with 4 wins, check this out, y'all. I don't know what's happening in the Chicago Vikings game, but we're in the 5th spot right now. Like 5th overall pick if the
It
game,
looks
if
like
the season.
real quick, Devontae, breaking news, looks like the Bears have taken a 12-10 lead with a field goal, 5 seconds left. So it looks like a Hail Mary coming from the Vikings. And you guys have the Dolphins, Rams, who are in the playoff race now, Jets, 49ers, and Cowboys to end the season. And maybe Aaron Rodgers plays for the Jets. So you guys may not win another game.
No, we're not. There's no way. Like Q's Jets should get us out of the way. Q's Jets will probably do unspeakable things to us, unfortunately.
I don't think so.
But you don't think so? All right,
No.
maybe not. Well, it'd probably be a low scoring. It'd probably be like a Giants Patriots game, something like that. But with and now the Bears, if we give the Bears this win, we'll move to the 4th spot. So I'm cool with the picks. I'm cool with the 4th overall pick right now. So I don't want this team to win another game. We're good right here. Fire everybody, get a new GM, new head coach. Over $90 million in cap space. 4th overall pick. 2 in the 2nd round, 2 in the 3rd round. This is good. I don't mind this for the future. Now, obviously, in the present, we're still going through this dumpster fire, but we got to make it to the other side. And again, I said this before, I'll say this again. If Bill Belichick sniffs his way to DC, I'm out of here. I don't want no parts of what he got going on. I hope it's a rumor. I haven't heard anything about it since a couple weeks ago, but that ought not happen. Go ahead and get Ben Johnson, throw the bag at him to be our head coach, and let him go from there.
So Cravante, let's get back to the Eric B situation. As D said, Eric B is doomed. They're not even going to let him do a Antonio Pierce or Rick Bisaccia or whomever you want to think about as a Jeff Saturday even got a damn interim opportunity as a coach. And Eric B, like you said, they're going to clean house. The owners already don't like Eric B. They recycle the same head coaches. Look at Frank Reich, for example. He got fired 2 years in a row. We recycle the same guys. Eric B, and like you said, he's not one of the front runners. He's not a hot candidate. He is doomed, man.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. So, and now I think he may not even be on the team next year. Might get Mr. Williams after all. Hey, man, listen. I think I think this is the closest we get as far as like up there in like draft. I think the 4th is probably the highest because the Patriots, Cardinals, and the Panthers. How many more games the Panthers gonna win? Probably not many more. The Cardinals might get another one, but I think the Patriots and the Panthers are pretty much done. I think they're 1-2. And I just think the 4th one, as far as the Cardinals, Panthers, and Patriots, I think that's probably gonna be the draft order. And at highest we go is probably 4, which I'm cool with because that means the top offensive tackle will be there. The opportunity for a quarterback will still be there, even though I think I'm cool with Sam Howell moving forward. So we get the best offensive tackle, and
Trade
start
back,
the
maybe
rebuild
get more
process.
picks.
Say that again.
Trade back, get more picks. You said you got 2 2s, 2 3s. You could trade back maybe 2 or 3 spots because somebody's going to want a quarterback maybe at 4 or 5. You go
Maybe.
trade back. You get a haul. You get more picks. You get some offensive linemen. You get another maybe defensive piece, pass rusher or somebody, corner.
Maybe. And listen, we got it's 2 guys out there that's the top at top tackles that I would want. I'll take either one of them. At brother at Notre Dame, Joe Alt, or Penn State. God, I can't. I always mispronounce his name, but the brother from Penn State, the brother from Notre Dame. But in that fourth spot, let me tell you this: newsflash, Byron. The top three players taken in the draft is probably going to be. I don't know the order, but it's probably going to be Caleb Williams, Drake May, Marvin Harrison Jr. That's probably going to be the first three picks, depending on if somebody really likes whoever the third QB number 3 would be. If somebody really
Or
likes
you know,
them,
like you said, you could have Michael Penix. Michael Penix wins the Heisman. He's going to go top 3.
maybe. And then Marvin Harrison Jr. will go down to 4. Oh, boy. Marvin Harrison Jr. or the top offensive tackle. Oh, boy.
I'm running in
That'll be.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
What'd you
I'm
say?
running up there. I'm taking Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm running up there.
My gosh, he's a crazy talent, yo. He's the best non-quarterback. But he might be the highest rated player in college football, but he's for damn sure the highest non-quarterback. So, I mean, at 4, if we can stay at 4, that's not a bad spot to be. We're in the top 5. Somebody going to trade up. Maybe Drake May falls. Let's be honest. Caleb Williams and Drake May are probably not going to fall. But if somebody wants to go up there for Michael Penix or Bo Nix, who knows? We'll see. But I like us in the top. If we can stay in the top 5, and if we can stay at 4, that'd be amazing. So I'm cool with that. But currently, I'm not happy. But I know us being this garbage, we get a top 5 selection, and we could get a generational tackle or wide receiver, depending on how the draft falls. But in some way, shape, or form, Marvin Harrison Jr., Drake May, and Caleb Williams are going to be probably the top 3 picks.
And the Bears are the first team to win a game this season without scoring a touchdown. Talk about street booty, as you guys said in the chat.
Straight garbage.
Well, what wasn't
we're
straight?
officially in the 4th spot.
Yeah. So what wasn't straight garbage was the Ravens winning last night, Raj. I know we talked about it on the post game. 20-10 victory, 9-3, number 1 seed in the AFC. But we did say that Chiefs schedule is a little light. So we'll see how it plays out. Ravens got some tough games coming up. How you feeling, man? Heading into the bye with a late bye.
Now, I'm not upset, actually, with the Ravens. They're 9-3. They're top of the AFC. Kudos to them. They found a way to win 9 of these games and only lose 3 of them. That's always a good thing. But I'm still not really happy with this offense. I'm not sure what the hell's going on. I understand Andrews is out for the season, so they got to try different things. But like I said yesterday on that post-game show, man, there is no rhyme or reason to this offense. And it's lackluster at times. And it's like let's say the beginning of the game. Odell was cooking the beginning of the game. He was getting pass after pass after pass. And all of a sudden, after that, we didn't see him anymore. And then after that, we saw Likely. Likely was getting pass after pass after pass in the first half. And then after that, we didn't see him anymore. And then Gus Edwards had maybe one carry, he had like 5 or 6 yards. After that, we ain't seeing him anymore. It's just like, bro, every time we get something going, and it's like you should stay with that strategy until the other team stops you. And the Ravens just continue to keep doing different things that don't work. A lot of times the screen passes do not work. Yesterday, they did not work. And it's very frustrating as a fan. It really is. I understand how Cavante's frustrated with the Commanders, but the Commanders lack a lot of, I ain't gonna say talent, but they lack something. Only Cavante can tell you because
It's a few things. It's
a few things. But the Ravens, I feel have everything. I feel like they have everything. They're like the Chargers. They have everything. All the offensive pieces, all the defensive pieces. The defense put it together. They are putting this thing together. I don't have any gripes with them. But the offense is just like, bro, it's like I'm just sitting there and I'm like, come on, like you should be up by more than just, I don't know, 10 points. You should be blowing this team out, or at least almost blowing this team out. And they just find ways to play down to that competition. And it's just extremely frustrating. And not to mention
Did we lose him?
Uh-oh.
I think we lost him. I think they cut his Wi-Fi.
Dang, he was talking too much trash, yo.
Well, let's go to you, Cavante. How do you feel this AFC playoff picture is shaping up? Because we're looking from a Ravens point of view, but obviously we know how you are with the Chiefs. You know, we call it the Arrowhead Invitational because every year the playoffs go through Arrowhead, AFC Championship game for the Chiefs at minimum. They're 8-3, Jaguars 8-3, and the Dolphins all 8-3.
Crazy.
Ravens 9-3 because they haven't been on a bye yet. How do you see this shaking out as the number one seed? And I mentioned the Chiefs have a very, very favorable schedule coming up, by the way.
Let's see. I think the Chiefs will still find a way there, even with their lackluster talent on the outside. I think they will still find a way to be there. Now, will it be at a number one seed? I'm not entirely sure because the Ravens have a thing or two to say about it. But I think it's going to shape up the Ravens. I think it's going to be the Ravens and Chiefs. Now, where where is it going to be is going to be the question, because I think it's pretty clear the top two teams in the AFC is the Ravens and the Chiefs. So I think somehow, some way, well, the way they will meet, whether it be at Arrowhead or M&T Bank, because like I said, the Ravens are going to have a thing or two to say about it for that number one seed. But I think it's going to be the Chiefs and the Ravens, and of course the NFC. I think it's pretty obvious over there too. Oh, another thing. I said before the year started, Chargers are not making the playoffs, and Brandon Staley is going to be gone. That is going to happen still.
Agreed. I agreed with you on that, Cavante. They're mediocrity at best. Raj, you good over there? You want to hop back in?
Yeah, I had to use my phone. Something going on my internet, and I don't feel like going downstairs and checking it out. So for now, I'm going to use this phone real quick. But let me just go off this point, man. Like I was saying, man, the coaching, man, the coaching is just goofy as hell, man. And Coach Harbaugh has not learned not to, you know, just be in tune with what's going on the field. It's like, bro, he has these brain farts, and it's like you missed, 2 spot challenges, but you want to challenge a forward pass. I'm like, bro, like come on, man. It's just stuff like that it just blows my mind as a Ravens fan, and it blows a lot of other people's minds. So I wasn't the only person that was pissed off, after winning this game. It's just like we see where this can head to, where this is going at. Like, we played the Chargers. Granted, they're not, the best team in the world, but they have a lot of talent on that team, and they're decent. They're pretty good. They should be better than their record, but of course they play down to that competition as well. And that coach is an idiot, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I'm just being honest. He's an idiot. We know Brandon Staley is not a very smart man, but it is what it is. But we're gonna be playing the Jaguars soon. We're gonna be playing, the Dolphins soon. We're gonna be playing the 49ers soon. We're gonna be playing some real legit teams coming up, and we cannot afford to have stuff like that happen against these teams. We got to be on that P's and Q's, on our best behavior, and this offense is going to have to step up, because I know the defense is not going to be able to stop everybody, especially on the Jaguars, and definitely not the Dolphins. Lord have mercy. I've been to that game where they got destroyed against the Dolphins, so I already know how they operate. But if you
And
want to
that's on New
be
Year's Eve, Raj.
exactly, but if you want to be one of the top teams in the AFC, or stay at the top of the AFC, that offense has to get a lot better, man. And I'm just striving. I just want them to strive for better and not settle, for mediocrity, especially, going forward. I mean, we need a key guy. Is it going to be Odell? Is it going to be Likely? I don't know, but they need to figure out a way to find who that guy is and let that be the guy, because we already know Andrews was that guy. But since he's gone, if they're going to continue to play like that against top teams, like I said before, they're going to be exiting the playoffs early, like really early. So that just that I ain't gonna say that frustrates me the most about the Ravens. But I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad for the win. I'm glad for the bye week that we're having. Hopefully they look at the film. Hopefully they actually make some changes, and hopefully like Harbaugh stays out of Monken's playbook, because I saw Harbaugh calling plays a little bit last night, and I'm like, what is he doing? Why is he calling plays? But but yeah, man, they got to get it together. They got a whole 2 weeks to figure it out. But I'm happy to be 9-3, but I just want better for this team.
Well said. And a bye week this week, so we will be here on the channel, probably doing something, but they'll be back in 2 weeks to face the Rams.
I'll be right back. Right back.
Okay. While Raj does that, Cravante, let us go. Let's go around the NFL. Let's go around the NFL this week. Week 12 is in the books. Thursday, we started with a little bit of a shocker. Packers beat the Lions 29-22, and the Packers are still alive in the NFC playoffs, Cravante.
Yeah, it's a great division win for the Packers, because Lions and again, sometimes we have to look. History tells us a lot. The Lions ain't won on Thanksgiving since I don't know how long, and it seems like I don't care how good they are or how great they look. Thanksgiving is not a given for the Lions, and the Packers, sure enough, waltzed up in there and punched them in the mouth, and it took them a while to recover. And yeah, the Lions don't do good. They don't do well when the team jumps on them. That's what I've seen. Ravens is one, and it looked like the Packers. And the Packers, they jumped on them, and then they kind of let up a little bit. Like they had a shot to come back, but I see the Lions don't do good with digging themselves out of holes. So I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. Like I obviously I picked the Lions to win, but I'm not surprised that they lost.
Go ahead, Roger. Your boy, Mr. Love, make you happy on Thanksgiving, man, while you were eating the meat?
Well, I wasn't eating meat watching him, so
Okay.
no meat eating. No meat was eaten watching the Packers and Lions. But I was a little disappointed with the Lions, man. I'm like, come on now, y'all going to go out there and embarrass yourselves again. I mean, they didn't get beat as bad as the Commanders
But
did.
they were. They was getting beat.
They was getting their ass kicked for a little bit. They tried to they tried to come back. That's the problem. They tried to come back. It just wasn't enough. But to be honest with you, the Packers shouldn't be this bad though, man. I mean, Jordan Love isn't the greatest quarterback. I think he's got, he has a lot of improving to do. I think this is his first year actually starting a full year. So I got to give that man a little bit of grace. I understand he was the backup to Aaron Rodgers for like the last couple years. But I think the Packers are better than their record, to be honest with you. I just think they're better than their record.
I agree.
But the Lions, they're just disappointing, man. They are. And I'm pretty sure they're going to be fine. They're going to make the playoffs. And they're going to go through some growing pains because they haven't been in this position in a really, really long time. So hopefully they get it together. Hopefully they don't lay another egg for their next game. But yeah, for that first game, set off a bad trend for the rest of that day, for damn sure.
And I think
Yeah.
the Lions are just proving that they're not there yet. They're
Right.
not quite there yet. Like it's in the NFC, there's tier one. There's only two teams in tier one. That's the 49ers and the Eagles. And then they are at the top of tier two. I will put them, whoever we're putting it in that category, which is it probably wouldn't be that many people. Probably maybe the Cowboys and the Lions would be in tier two. But they're not quite a tier one team. They're still going, they're still progressing, but they're not there yet.
Speaking of the Cowboys, we know the Commanders, they got beat. But are the Cowboys capable of making a run? They're going to play the NFC South winner, guys, because they're going to be the top wild card.
No, they're not.
Okay.
They're not. No. The only reason I'm saying that is because I'm not that they're not a good team. It's just when they play the big boys, they fall flat on their face, and they fell flat on their face a lot so far this season. The Eagles already beat them. They got beat by the Cardinals, and they don't have a chance in hell against the 49ers, especially if they're all healthy. So
Oh my
no,
god! And
they
that's the other team they lost to. That's the
yeah,
other team. They beat them 42-10.
they have no chance in hell of making any type of noise if they got to see any of those teams. None.
And that's why they're tier 2. And that's exactly why they're tier 2. But they kicked the listen. You know who they compare to in the AFC? The goddamn Dolphins. They compare very well to the Dolphins. If they scrubs, oh man, they gonna run it up. they gonna look like a top tier team when they play scrubs. But when they got play up, the Dolphins, my gosh, we know how explosive the Dolphins could be. And the Cowboys, when their defense is leading the charge, that leaves the door open for their offense to get off. But when they play an above 500 team, a playoff ready team, they lose. And that's just what it is. But thankfully on Thanksgiving, they played a scrub. They played a dumpster fire. They played a team that I'm not sure if they got dressed. I'm not sure if they got on the plane to leave BWI. I'm not even sure they got on that plane for real. Maybe their bodies got on the plane, but wasn't nobody ready for nothing what Dallas had to offer. And all they had was turkey legs and donations made to the Salvation Army. That's what the Commanders had coming to them for in the scope of 45-10. 45-10. They got their asses handed to them. And I don't even think they knew what it was. I think they thought it was like a turkey dinner when the Cowboys handed their asses back to Commanders. The Commanders like, oh, is this turkey? I think that's what happened. But yeah, the Cowboys, but that's how they play. That's how the Cowboys look. The Cowboys dropped 40 at least 3 times, and the Giants twice, and the Commanders. That's their 40 games. That I think that's all their 40 games, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if they dropped 40 any other time, but they beat the Giants 40-0 the first week, and then they beat the Giants the last time they played them 45-17 or something like that, and then they dropped the Commanders 45-10. So you see what they do when they play scrubs. The Panthers, they put the Panthers to sleep. The week for that, like their 3 losses. Well, scrap the Cardinals. They do for one of them. The Eagles and the 49ers. And neither of those games really was close, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know how did the Eagles and Cowboys game play. I forgot
That was
the score.
close. That was
it was a close game, but the Eagles, they do what
they had it. They had it pretty much in the bag. That 49ers game was not close.
No, they never.
You'd have thought the 49ers took it as if they lost the last time they played. That's how they took it personal. They're like, I can't believe they put y'all on our schedule again. Well, this is what we got to do to y'all. But yes, Byron, they will play whoever the heavens. They may play the Falcons in the first round of the playoffs. They may play the Falcons, and they'll win. They will win. But if they got to play the Eagles or the 49ers, which would be the next matchup, we heard the audio tape. Oh yeah, we heard the audio book. We listened to the CD. We saw the movie. We read the book.
Mm-hmm.
We all know how this ends. Sure, they have a chance, but
they don't.
Let's be real. Let's be real. The Cowboys are going to Cowboy.
Well, speaking of the 49ers, they whooped up on the Seahawks. Really no surprise there, guys. I mean, the Ravens will be there in a couple of weeks, Raj.
There's no need to recap it. There's no need to recap it. We already know what they can do. They whooped the Seattle back in the Seattle. It is what it is, man. I don't got nothing. I don't got nothing for you. Just like the Black Friday game. I have nothing for you.
I was going to ask you about that. How the hell do you give up a pick 6 on a Hail Mary at the end of the half?
Yo, that's crazy.
It's the New York Jets. This is what happens to them. I had to text Q to make sure he was okay.
Is he alive?
Yeah, he was at the bar watching his team get thrashed in the middle of Black Friday. But yeah, they're just an embarrassment, man. They even you know what? Besides Aaron Rodgers going down for the season, Everything else is still intact. This team is an embarrassment. They are embarrassing to watch. They should not be as bad as they are. They played a lot better last year with the same team. Even with Zach Wilson, they played a lot better. But this year, they don't care. They don't care. So it's completely terrible. They're completely awful, and they deserve to get their asses kicked on Black Friday. They shouldn't be in any of these primetime games anyway. So it is what it is. It's the New York Jets. What do you expect?
Devontae, is this gonna make your goofy of the week?
So the cautions, we pulled up the caution tape for the 49ers and the Seahawks game, right? We pull out the caution tape. Nothing to see here, guys. Just caution tape everywhere. It's ugly over here, but nothing to see here. Not much to say there. The 49ers seem like they're getting back into their form. Now the Black Friday game, the Dolphins and the Jets. Again, I don't know if y'all seen, but Tua threw two really ugly picks before that pick six, the Hail Mary pick six. Is that what we're calling it?
Yes, the Hail Mary
whatever.
pick six. That never really should happen.
Goofiness. But Tua does not look great. There's times where Tua has done some boneheaded things, and that's why I say the Dolphins, thankfully they were playing the Jets, because if they was playing a 500 team, they probably would have lost, because Tua giving the ball up like crazy. But for him to throw an interception, give the Jets the ball back, oh my gosh, they got a shot. Does he have the arm to get it down there? Okay, cool. He throws it. This brother gets a pick, and I'm like, all right, there's no up. There's no up. He has the quarterback to beat. And we saw what happened. The best thing that now that has to be something that offensive coordinators have to use with caution, because when you got a DB from the other team getting a pick and running it back, all your skill position guys are behind him. Now all he got is Fat Boys, the quarterback, and I think he had the running back to beat. And sure enough, you give a DB a full head of steam, what offensive lineman is going to tackle him? And your quarterback is not athletic enough to tackle him. All you do, give him a move, and he going to fall. So it's really only the running back to beat. So now, moving forward, maybe, Raj, maybe we'll say it's just a Jets thing. Maybe. But that is a precaution that you have to use that's going to be in the back of an offensive coordinator's mind moving forward, that like, hey, yeah, that was the Jets, but we can't have that happen. You know what I'm saying? But big ups to the brother. I thought it was 100 yards, but it was 99 yards, whatever. But he lived a defensive back's dream of catching the ball and running it back to the crib. And he ran it back as far as you can run it back, pretty much, of 99 yards. So big ups to that brother. And after that, you know, the game was pretty much over, you know. So, yeah, there's that.
We put that in the OTJ category, everybody. Only the Jets. That's what we call it. Because remember, they had the butt fumble on Thanksgiving a few years ago, and now the reverse Hail Mary pick six. Dre, you're back with us. What you got a hat on, my guy? What is this guy?
He got a Survivor Series hat that he got from Chicago.
Well, and that's a perfect segue, because I see our guest is backstage waiting patiently. He's a main eventer like CM Punk.
Oh, not the guest. Not the guest.
We're going to get into it because there's a lot of controversy about this promo and what he said or didn't say, and we'll get into it. I know Dre has his take. This man is a main eventer. He's a headliner. He is Mr. Pro Wrestling, because he's not only at the WWE shows. I got to show love to my guy. He's at the AEW shows. He was even at the Ring of Honor shows, the indie shows. He's everywhere. He is, like myself, a fellow sneaker connoisseur. I can't even compete with this guy, so I don't even want to put myself in the same ballpark with him. You can follow him at
Tell me about it.
Or you can follow him at My Kicks or My Fix. This boy is family. He's been working with us for a minute. It's finally good to have him back on the show. He's done things with us for Fox Sports. Been rocking with the show. Always supports us, man. And like I said, if you're at a wrestling show, you're probably going to see this man in some fly gear, some exclusive gear, and some cool kicks. Our boy Corey, Fly Eagles Fly, the Ohio State fan, Corey is back in the Flex Zone building. Let's give it up for him, everybody. Corey, what's up,
What's
my brother?
up, guys? What is up, guys?
Gotta hit your music, brother. Gotta hit your music, brother. What's going on, man?
That's crazy.
Since
Wow.
you are a
Hey
wrestling fan,
yo, he
you got
came in
this thing,
like a sitcom, yo.
So Corey,
Wow, what's going on, guys? Sorry, my voice is still a little gone between
Man.
the Eagles win yesterday, the Survivor Series, you name it. Like, yeah, a weekend.
Well,
A
what do you want to
weekend.
start with, brother? Because it was a crazy weekend for you, Dre. I don't know if you want to kick it to him first to start with
Yeah.
the Punk. I mean, what y'all want to do?
I mean, this is, you talk about me, no sleep. This guy, me and Corey didn't even plan this, but we were on the earliest flight possible, heading to Chicago on Friday. Then we got the earliest flight back on Sunday, and I'm like, so I see Corey with his Eagle stuff, and I'm like, dude, where are you going? He's like, man, I'm going up to Philly. I'm like, like what? No sleep, but I mean, I'm pretty sure after this weekend, it was totally worth it.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is not football because you all covered very eloquently, by the way, as I was listening, your football portion. This is wrestling right now, and what a time to be just watching wrestling in general, but especially WWE right now. And I don't want to sound like a homer, like, oh, I'm all WWE, because as y'all put it, I go to everything else, I watch everything else, but right now, you talk about clicking on all cylinders. WWE's doing that right now.
Now, you were telling me on the airplane back that you said that this was like a chef's kiss. How Survivor Series. Why do you think that?
So the reason why I say that is because, and people will probably hear me out on this, but it's Punk's comeback in Chicago. Punk being in Chicago, and I told you this, Dre. That's something different, and you can match it up almost with, I would say, any kind of sports, figure in general. But his, I guess, home field advantage of what Punk is to Chicago, like that city rides for him, he rides right back for them. Like it's and Dre, you were in there. It's something he can do no wrong with that city, and it shows.
I mean, I was telling them, I said, like Gorilla Monsoon, when he said this place is gone bananas, I said, I've never heard an arena that loud ever in my life. I said the only thing I could compare it to was Rock when he came back at WrestleMania. And I said that was a stadium, but for an arena, I mean, it was just deafening in there.
You could put it up there with anything of any of the, quote unquote pops that you've heard the last 10 years or whatever. I mean, it's even up there with Punk's return at the United Center with AEW. And people knew that was coming for the most part. This one, it was floated out there, a lot of the sheets and stuff. He may show up, he may not. You truly didn't know until it happened. And when it did, it was like, oh my goodness, it's really happening. And that place, like I said, you were in there, Dre, that place was going crazy.
I mean, he has the most social media views right now, and I'm pretty sure that number is still going to trend over. It's at 71 million right now, and it's going to keep going up.
Yeah, twice.
What did you think about the promo tonight, Chris?
Oh, I thought it was.
I know you saw it.
Yeah, no. I thought it was very well done with Punk. They kept it to the point. They didn't give away too much with what he wanted to do or where it was going with him storyline wise. They didn't insult anybody's intelligence. Everybody knew who he was talking about when he said not everybody was happy I was back. Obvious, he was talking about Seth Rollins. Everybody saw what went on, after Survivor Series went off the air. You saw what Seth said last night at the house show. And so it was like, okay, clearly that's where they're going. And they're doing the slow build to where I've heard people say, oh, maybe they're going to fight at Rumble. I don't think it's that soon. I think this is your money match for WrestleMania. And it sucks because I hate to say, like, the women may not get one of the main events this year, but they might not get one of the main events this year.
Well, I'm glad that you talked about the women getting a main event slot. Who would you even see getting a main event slot right now as the women right now with everything going on with them?
I'll answer that in two ways because right now, in real time, the way the roster is, if you go Bianca and Charlotte, it's main event worthy.
Mhm.
Um,
Definitely.
Fantasy booking it wise, even further, if Jade wins the Royal Rumble and somehow you get Jade versus Bianca or Jade versus Charlotte for the championship, that's main event worthy. So it's a different. I don't want to sound cliche with it, but it's a beast of a different nature if you've got CM Punk there. He just is. You got to use him, and that's one of his. If you think back, especially if y'all have been watching, I know y'all have. One of Punk's biggest things with him in his first run was that he never got a WrestleMania main event,
Yeah.
and he was the champion for over a year, and went 2 WrestleManias basically, and was in a position to main event and didn't get to main event. So I'm sure that's something they're not even gonna wait on that. He's getting that this year. I think him and Seth main event night one. I really do.
Mhm.
So how do you
Yeah.
get there? Do you have him win the Rumble? Do you have Cody win the Chamber? Because we know we're getting Cody and Roman again.
There's as you all know with WWE, there's ways around that. If I had to say it right now, I think Cody probably wins the Chamber. I don't think it helps if Cody wins back-to-back Rumbles. It could. Let me take that back. It could, but I don't think if it was me, I wouldn't do it that way. I'd have Cody win the Chamber. Excuse me. I have Cody win the Chamber, and Punk. You don't need to win the Rumble. You can have somebody else win the Rumble. I still think there's a way to get there. I don't know if it's something where you have the Rumble winner uh, get his opportunity beforehand and say, I just want it now. I don't want to wait till me. They've done it before. So I feel like because it's WWE, they can find a way. I know people will listen to it. Well, that's not logical. What is logical with them these days? Like, and I mean that not as an insult, but they're so off the norm with when they want to get to a certain point. They're going to get there regardless of what logically makes sense or what doesn't. They're going to get there. So Punk right now probably is an odds-on favorite to win the Rumble, though, if they want him to get to Seth. Or you just go Cody. I mean, both ways it can be flipped, but I think your championship contenders for WrestleMania are CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. I really do.
Well, let me. I
Mhm.
know we've been talking about Punk, but let me ask you
Mhm.
about another Survivor Series return, and that was with
Sure.
Randy Orton. What direction do you think Randy Orton goes in? Because tonight he talked about getting revenge on the Bloodline, and now you're seeing them. Now you're seeing him with the Judgment Day. Which direction do you think that they'll go with him?
I think eventually he does get. It's weird because I'll segue somebody else into that same mix. If you see what Drew McIntyre did, it's kind of like
Mhm.
he had a faint, like not heel turn, and then he fully turned heel as far as what it seemed because he said he's gonna get it, Jey Uso. I think Randy Orton will eventually get Jey Uso. Um, it won't be at WrestleMania though. I think WrestleMania is going with Jey versus Jimmy, but I
Mhm.
do think at some point Randy gets one in, and it could be something where I had to get one in, like it could be at the Royal Rumble or something, and he says, he RKO's him in the Rumble or he eliminates him or something. And he's like, I had to get one in. That's my get back. So even though he said tonight, as long as you're not in there, we got no problems. I still think he gets him. He'll get Jay. He'll get Jimmy. He'll eventually. He'll get Solo too, and Solo wasn't even around. He'll get him too. So yeah, I think he gets all, and they haven't done Randy versus Roman as the tribal chief to where he's got an opponent. So I think even though Randy's on Raw, I think he gets to Roman to be a challenger for Roman at some point. Could be
Now,
Elimination Chamber, could be the Rumble. But I think Randy gets to fight Roman. I really do. Roman needs an opponent. He does. He needs at least two between now and WrestleMania. So I think you get Randy as one of them. I really do.
And that's perfect because I wanted to ask you, do you think that at the Rumble they go with AJ or Randy? Because those seem to be the two.
Well, those are the
favorites right
two.
now.
That I'm gonna, and you're right on point. Those are your two. You've got to do. He's Roman to me. This is me. Roman's got to defend it at the Rumble, and he's got to defend it at Elimination Chamber, or somewhere in between now and WrestleMania. I'll put it that way. He's got to defend the championship, and those are his two opponents: AJ Styles and Randy Orton. Two credible ones at that. That if it is whoever his WrestleMania opponent, that it is dethroning him, Roman's going to come in as strong as ever because he just essentially beat Randy Orton and AJ Styles on the way to WrestleMania.
True.
Mm-hmm.
And was that all your wrestling questions, Dre?
Nah, I mean, I had
1,000 more.
Yeah.
You got 1,000 more questions for him.
Cody's returned.
Uh-huh.
Punk's returned. Who do you think might be next?
Just on the larger scale from where AEW is, they are the second biggest company to me in the US at minimum, if not the world. So if assuming we're talking about somebody coming from there over to WWE, I think I told you this while we were at some point during the trip, Dre. I do believe MJF has already I don't know these things, but I think MJF has already probably re-signed with AEW. I don't think he's leaving. I don't know anybody's contract status, but somebody like maybe a Ricky Starks or somebody like that. Jericho, I think eventually will go back. I just think those doors, because of what WWE has done with the major stars that have come over from AEW in a sense of how they've been received since they've come over. Cody's a star and has been booked as such. Jade has been made to look like she's the greatest women's wrestler out there, and she hasn't even done anything yet as far as, her career just started 2 years ago or whatever, or 3 years ago. So, but they made her look like the star that aesthetically she looks like. And CM Punk he's CM Punk, and he's come back over there, and that's the one. And like I said, I don't work for AEW. I'm just a fan at the end of the day, just like everybody else. But that's the one. It's like that's the one guy they had, and whoever is at blame, because me, you guys, nobody was back there. We don't know who is really to blame for the way things went down. But that was the one guy that they had that was true star quality that was coming in. Because I know they have stars over there, but nothing hit like when CM Punk came over there.
Oh yeah,
and that was the guy they had, and they don't have him anymore. And it's not like he disappeared. It's not like he disappeared from AEW and then was gone for a year and then showed up in WWE. It's been 3 months. And he, with no hesitation, in a sense, he's back in WWE. And, and I really felt and believed him when he said tonight that, it sounds cliche, but I'm home. I really felt like he felt that was the truth. Like, he's home. Mm-hmm. So
you felt that he was denying it all these years. Like, damn.
I won't say that. No, I won't say that. I do believe whatever convictions he had against WWE were very, in fact, real. And it probably hurt him. And I'm not speaking for him. That's not anything he said. But I think for him, it probably hurt him because he probably never wanted to leave. And he probably knew that was where he should have been, because WWE was the biggest name. There was no AEW at that time. There was no, at best ROH was, somewhat flourishing, and he wasn't going to go to Japan. So it was like, and TNA was not TNA anymore in that aspect at that time. So WWE was still the only name in the game. So, And that's not to discredit what he did in AEW either, guys, because the impact he had on them, he put them on the map more
Yeah.
than what they already were. And it's not a knock to AEW that they weren't doing it, because they were there. They were the alternative. But when they got Punk, it made it different, where those WWE lifers and truthers and the AEW naysayers were like, they had to give credit where credit was due, and they turned the channel and watched what was going on when Punk was on. So he and I think, I don't speak for Punk, but I would think he wouldn't discredit his time in AEW, at least in the beginning either, because it was definitely profitable at that time. So
Let, let me ask you this too.
yeah, sure.
You talked about Jade, and
Mhm.
now Unc said that he thinks that Jade is going to be like the great Khali
Yes.
of
Yes.
WWE.
Oh
You wrote that
man.
down, Dre. Yes.
I want to
Yes.
know.
Yes.
Well, as a matter of fact, Raj, go ahead and you elaborate.
Look,
I want to hear this.
Look. All right, Corey. Look, I like Jade Cargill. Okay,
Right.
I like Jade when she was in AEW.
Sure,
I think she has the presence. She has everything going for it. It's just the in ring is not there yet. I hope it's there after she's done in the performance center, and when it's time for her to go up, I hope it's there.
Sure.
But if it ain't there, and that bell do ring, I did tell Dre she might be the next great Khali, and I hope that ain't the case. I hope that's not the case.
So Raj, I'm gonna say this.
We'll see.
I think she's too athletically gifted to allow herself to be that. They will find a way to use her, and she's not limited by a hindrance of a physical ability. She's not. So I think whatever, kind of hiccups she has right now, I think she's working those out. I think she's going to be able to hang with whoever they put her in. And that's the other thing too. The people she's going to be in there with will be able to carry her if need be. And I don't mean carry in a bad way, but if there's a spot she misses or the timing's off or something, she's going to be in there with people that, I mean, look at the caliber of women that are up now, even from the lower end of the card of women to the upper. First of all, she's going to get the obligatory feud with Natalya on something. And that's not a bad thing. That's a great thing. She's going to get, at some point, she will be in some mini feud with Natalya. Natalya's going to work her out. She's going to get her right. Because Natalya is a godsend for them in that women's division. Like, she is like and a gatekeeper gets a negative connotation to it sometimes, but she gets a positive one with the term gatekeeper.
It's only
She's
negative. Corey, is only negative. It's only negative if his name is Diddy. That's about it.
Wow.
No, but yeah, well, okay. So yes, Natalya definitely, she's gonna get it, and I'm sure she enjoys it. She is the measuring stick as far as if you're ready or not for your Charlottes and Becky's and Bianca's and Bailey's that kind of same way too with where Natalya is. It's just Bailey's a little more prominently featured, but Bailey's the same way. Bailey is also that measuring stick that if you're good and can hang with Bailey, you're good, you can hang with Natalya, they're going to have you right for when you got to be on TV with Asuka, with Bianca, with Becky Lynch, and you got to be able to hang because those women can go. They'll have you right. So I fully believe with the women's division that Jade is in now, she is going to be primed and ready for all of these big spots they're planning on putting her in.
Let me ask you too about there's a report by Dave Meltzer that said MJF has a torn labrum. How do you think that affects his title run against his up and coming title match against Samoa Joe?
Well, medically, if they look at it and they clear him, let him go. And that's another thing that ties into actually what I said earlier, with I think he's been re-signed already. If he's not re-signed by now and is a free agent at the moment, I don't think he puts himself in that position to possibly derail his career for a months or a year at a time in a contract situation. So, and that more sounds like real sports than sports entertainment, but I think it applies. He doesn't want to lose any money. And if he's not cleared to go, it's a liability on AEW. It's a liability on MJF. So if he can go, they're going to let him go. And I think he should go. But if there's any instance that he shouldn't be competing, let him be out. Let him give up the championship and you move on, or get an interim champion like they've done with people when people are injured. They get an interim champion. And that could be the case. We don't know what will happen within the next week. But as of right now, I know MJF saying, I'll be good to go. I'm fighting. But if that's the road, great. But if not, they'll find a way around it.
Just have the devil screw him and have Samoa Joe choke him out. Samoa Joe gets his title. MJF can go off TV. Adam Cole can be revealed as the devil. We all go home happy. MJF comes back, and then everybody loves it.
I feel like, guys, I don't even think they know who they want to portray that yet. Sometimes it be like that. Sometimes they don't know who they want. Like, it could be, it could be Matt Taven for all we know under the mask right now, physically.
Wow. Or it could be you under the mask. Right?
It could be. It's not. But it could be. Well, we don't know if it's not me, but it ain't Britt Baker either. So there we go. We don't know who's under there yet. But when they creatively figure out who they want under there, they'll pull the trigger on that. I do think that's happening sooner than later, and I think that probably happens in Long Island. I'm debating now if I want to go to that. I think I am.
That was
I think
my
I'm gonna
final
go.
question for you, brother. Where are you headed to next, man? I know you're going to the Rumble.
Yeah, I'm going to the Rumble. I was thinking about it today with what happened at Survivor Series. I might go ahead and ride up to Brooklyn this Friday and just go to SmackDown.
Okay. How do you feel about SmackDown, real quick? Do you feel with two part-time champions is suffering, Logan Paul and Roman? I say that all the time to these guys.
Okay. Logan's man. Listen, and people will hate me for this. Logan is one of the best things that ever happened to that company.
I agree.
Based on who he is socially. Please, they're gonna tune in whether he's on every week or just once a month. You're gonna get the results, and he's proven himself that he's not just a celebrity commodity. The guy can go. So at this point, let him do what he's doing. It's not hurting the brand. You're not hurting by him not being on there. You're not.
Logan Paul, LA Knight. Take my money.
I think LA Knight's the one that takes the championship off of him. Honestly,
he should be. Yeah.
This question, real quick, is not a wrestling related question.
Yeah, whatever.
But I'm pretty sure you're gonna agree with this one. Where are your Eagles headed to, man? Are they going back to the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Will you be in Vegas with Usher dancing?
Any real Eagles fan? I won't say real because everybody's. If you say you're a fan of somebody, you're a fan. I mean, it is what it is. But I'll say it in this context. Any long time, at least, or real Eagles fan will tell you they're cautiously optimistic, and that's what I'm telling you. I'm not saying we're going anywhere until we're there. Okay. Eagles fans do that. We're not those type of fans. Some of them are, but the more logical ones, I'm not saying. I didn't say it in 2018 or 2017, going into 2018. I didn't say it last year until we got there, and it was because I just know we've been through so much pain as Eagles fans in the past that we can't say that. Ravens fans, some of y'all can go like, oh yeah, we're going to get back there. We're going to go. I'm not doing that because y'all not going to get me and have me on film and have me on audio saying, oh, we're going there. Y'all pull this up 3 months later. What happened? No, y'all not going to get me. Not today. But I am very confident that we will be in the mix late January to possibly make some noise. I'll say that.
Let me ask you this then. You're skeptical about saying about going to the Super Bowl, but is Jalen Hurts right now your front runner for MVP?
Absolutely. He's and honestly, I hate to say it, he doesn't miss any games last year. He wins it last year too. Yeah, I really believe that. No, he's the front runner. If he makes it through what the NFL is deemed as the gauntlet because we got to face everybody else instead of everybody else having to face us. If he makes it through this and actually wins all those games, nah, he's MVP and it's not even close to me.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
I
agree,
agree
man.
too. Especially that Dallas game. I think the Dallas game and the 49ers game. If he can win those 2 games, then yeah, I think that solidifies him.
It's funny y'all say that because I've been telling people. I mean, we've already clinched the playoffs as of yesterday. They officially have clinched the playoff spot. I did say these next 3 games are for the number 1 seed. In importance, the most important game we got to win is San Francisco because they're the biggest threat to the number 1 seed. The second, we got to beat Dallas. We sweep Dallas, the division's over. I will confidently say that. The NFC East is over if we sweep Dallas. That's it. We'll win the division. And then we have to beat Seattle because you have to win. You got to win conference games. And y'all know that. You got to win in your conference. And we haven't lost in the conference yet. We haven't lost in the division yet. So, like I said, that only loss, which I'm glad we got that loss to the Jets. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but I don't want the pressure of going into every game undefeated. You want it when you see that your team, like the 08 Patriots or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a team where
That's
that's a team where you could be, or 07 Patriots rather. That's a team where you could be, okay, let's go undefeated. You got arguably the 2 GOATs of their positions with Brady and Randy Moss in their prime. Yeah, I'm a little confident with going undefeated and not having that pressure. Not knocking my team, but I'm a realist. We didn't have that same team. So it's almost like, oh, the loss gets that pressure off of you. Because especially with this team this year, I don't want to be 11-0 right now going into. I mean, as a fan, yes, you want your team undefeated, but as a football watcher, nah. If I'm already got that loss and I ain't got that pressure, I'm good. We still 2 games up on the division, on all of the rest of the division, so I'm okay with that.
And how did it feel yesterday to be at what they're calling the game of the year?
Tiring.
We can hear it in your voice.
Physically, all of that, like tiring. Yeah. So, yeah, that's it. But no, it was great. It was great. No. It's always a fun time. So, I mean, just making it through those games. I know y'all see these memes out there lately of, oh yeah, my team's out to play, and then they have the big Eagles logo, and it's like, this is stressful, or what are we doing? And then at the little tiny slivers, like, oh, we won the game. That's as accurate as it can be, because you go through every stage of grief going through Eagles games, and then that relaxation where you get to breathe at the end because you've won. You go through all of that.
I felt it yesterday.
If I say, as the Ravens fans, we know about all that.
Yeah, I know y'all do.
As a Commanders fan, I don't.
Oh, listen.
I don't.
They got last year. They got one on us, and it was so funny. I was sitting there in the stadium in that game too when we lost. I was just like, well, we got that off. I'm okay, but because I live here in DC, I hate losing the Commanders. I hate it. But at the same time, they're in the division. I don't care what kind of the Jets are terrible this year, but they show up for every Dolphins and Bills and Patriots game because you get up for those division games. The Broncos were dead to rights, and they beat the Chiefs and have been on a 5-game winning streak. So those division games, those are all 0-0 to me. I don't care. Even with the Giants this year, I don't want to have to play the Giants week 18 in MetLife. I don't. Or week 19 or whatever that is. I don't want to have to play them. I don't. Not in the last game of the year. I don't want that game to mean anything. I don't even want the Arizona, because our last 3 games, people are saying, that's no problem because it's Giants, Arizona, and the Giants again. So, I mean, it's definitely an easy, but I don't even want to have to play those last 2 games. I want it to be where we beat the Giants at home on Christmas, that essentially wraps up the conference, and we're the number 1 seed.
Should y'all
Especially,
go if for whatever something fluky happens and
sure.
the 49ers they close that gap.
Uh-huh.
Do y'all and should y'all go for the number 1 seed?
Absolutely. Look at the difference it made last year. I don't know if we win against San Francisco on the road. I don't. I just at that point, I think if there's a chance for, because if you don't do it, you don't get that week. You're gonna get the week break one way or the other. Either you're gonna get the week and you take that week off, and then you're not getting the number 1 seed, and you risk having to play away in the NFC Championship, or you go ahead and play. You play for that week off, and you stay home the entire playoffs. I'm taking the latter. I'm playing that last to get that number 1 seed, and then I ain't got to go nowhere. You got to figure too. Arizona is really the last. I mean, up to that point, Arizona is really the last game they got to travel for. They're in New York the other 2 games. They ain't got to go nowhere. I'm playing for that number 1 seed, and I get to stay home. And I'm sorry, I will be biased as a Philadelphia fan. I don't think there's a more scarier place to play as an opponent than coming into Philadelphia. I'm sorry. I've seen it. I experienced it. I live it. I wouldn't want to be an opposing fan coming to Philadelphia to play. I'm sorry. I don't think any other team in the league has that kind of presence from their fans to have that. I mean, other than maybe the Raiders when they were in LA, they don't have that in Vegas now. So
No.
it was, or
Not even
Oakland
close.
rather. Yeah, it's not
It's
even
glitz and
close.
glamour. It's glitz and glamour
Yeah.
in Vegas.
Y'all know
It
what
ain't
it
the
is.
same.
Y'all know what it is. Yeah, so and like I said, it's biased, but I really think it's the truth. I wouldn't want to be an opposing team coming into Philadelphia. The elements, the fans, the atmosphere. Nah, I'm good.
Man, listen,
I
they
agree.
and I've always been a Commanders fan,
Right.
but
Mm-hmm.
I was younger and I'm not sure who you guys was playing. I'm not sure if the Commanders, well, at the time would have been the Redskins, but
Right.
I'm
Right.
not sure if we were there or who y'all was playing. Y'all could have been playing the Cowboys for all I remember. But
Mm-hmm.
man, y'all beat up Santa Claus, Joe, and I was like,
Oh
yo,
yeah. That was
they
in
are
Philly.
different. Those
That
guys are
was in
different,
Philly.
man.
Oh,
And
I mean, this is real talk. No, with the Redskins, I went to a game with a friend, and he was a Redskins fan. Went up with me to a game in Philly. I'll never forget. I didn't even know the guy. Another Eagles fan. He was walking past. He was pointing at my friend. Was like, "You better be glad you're with him." I was like, "Whoa!" It's
that's
like,
real.
yeah. I was like, I didn't even know the guy. My friend was like, "Oh, you know?" I'm like, "Nah." So,
No.
and my boy had his jersey on. You know, I had my jersey on. It was, "You better be glad you're with him." And I'm like, "Ooh, that was real." All right.
Whew, glad you with me, brother.
Yeah. It's like, all right, that's the way it is then. So yes, but all in all, yeah, it's I would like to say, to answer your question, I absolutely, you go for the number 1 seed, especially with the last couple years, adding that 17, taking away that number 2 seed by
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that made that, and that's what the NFL wants anyway. They want that money, they want that extra playoff game, they want those games at the end to mean something. So they want, and that's why I kind of see that too in the back of my mind, guys. I feel like something's going to happen where the Eagles are going to have to play that last game against the Giants in MetLife to get the number 1 seed. I really feel that way.
Corey, how can the people keep up with your wonderful adventures through the world of
Listen,
football, wrestling, and all your wonderful kicks that you have?
it's same place, IG, Twitter, all of that. My kicks are my fix. I'm very one-dimensional on the name. My name doesn't change anywhere on the socials. You can find me there, and I just, I post wrestling, I post football, and I mean, I may dabble with a sneaker or two, maybe. So,
This guy.
I mean, listen, for me, I always appreciate somebody recognize. I've been collecting sneakers almost all my life, and for me, and I always get the question, "Oh, how many do you have?" So I can answer that for anybody that asks. I've never counted, and I never will. For me, it's always been about collecting the sneakers, and y'all see me. it ain't nothing where I'm leaving the sneakers on the shelf or in the box or whatever. I'm wearing my sneakers. I don't care how limited it is, how it's going. Shoes are made to be worn, and I'm wearing the sneaker. I don't care. Listen, Travis Scott's. Every time I get a Travis Scott, I know that I didn't mean that to be a flex on the flex, but yeah, I'm on the but every time I get a Travis Scott or something like that, it goes right to the toe at some point very soon. I wear it because I wear my sneakers. But for me, it's not. I'm very humble when it comes to sneakers because I could not have it. So the ability for me to get that stuff, I always appreciate it. I mean, I worked in a shoe store for 8 years. Managed shoe store. It's not just a hobby that I picked up. So I've always done this. Kids even these days now they're like, oh, I want to start. You don't want to start collecting now. It's not the same era. It's not when guys our age, when we started, like it was shoes only once every couple of months or a major. There's a shoe or two every week now.
Yeah.
So I tell people all the time, this isn't a hobby to jump into now. And if you're going to do it, just buy what you want. Don't try to buy everything. Yeah, but I mean, other than that, no, I mean, these shoes are my thing. They've always been my thing. They always will. And I just, like I said, I try to make sure I put out there. It's not a thing of me saying, oh, I got this over you. I mean, people say it all the time. And I do appreciate anytime somebody compliments me and say, oh, you got, but for me, listen, if somebody got 5 pair of shoes and that's their 5 and they like them, that's your collection, man. It ain't nothing wrong with what you got. I mean, I don't care what anybody rock. If you comfortable, you wear it. Like, it's just the people that try to really flex on people and say, I got this over you, or yeah, I got this, you ain't got this. It ain't about that. And that's why the game is the way it is now, because one man is always trying to beat the next man over it. Like, yo, somebody is always going to have something that you don't have. There's plenty of people out there that got stuff that I don't have. I don't even sweat that stuff. I know what I got. I buy my stuff because I like it. So that's just me,
That's life.
Corey, we appreciate you, brother, man. Staying up late with us. I know.
Nah, it's cool. I wanted to make sure I got here. This has been a long time in the make. Man, y'all let me know, man. Seriously, this is great. Whenever I need to get on, if I ain't bowling or something, yeah, I bowl as well. So I'm in a couple of leagues. So I legitimately bowl. So anytime I'm not doing any of that and I can get on, I'm getting on. You let me know, I'm here.
Definitely appreciate you.
Man.
Absolutely, guys.
Those playoffs are coming soon, man.
Look, hey, listen, I'm there, and also, I mean, I've played fantasy football for over 20 years now, so if you need that too, I'm here for it.
I can't wait to whoop you next year, then.
Brother.
Yeah, look, I'm here. You let me know. I'm here.
Corey, man, we appreciate you, brother. Give it up for Corey one more time, everybody.
Appreciate that, guys. Thank you.
Man, he's part of the Flex Zone family. We'll have him back on to talk about his Eagles heading into the playoffs. Maybe they end up in Vegas. He might be dancing with Usher at the Stadium, Corey, appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
Good to have you.
Thank you, Corey. Definitely
appreciate
it.
Thanks, guys.
Corey, appreciate you, brother. Once again, big shout out to Corey. Always showing love to the Flex Zone. Let's get these picks, guys, and let's get Cervantes Goofies, and let's get out of here. Week 13.
Oh,
can you guys
dang, I didn't even get the game ball, man.
Well, who's your game ball, Trey? Go ahead, man. You got a game ball?
I mean, I'm tired as hell. I don't care about game ball.
I'll just go to my honorary game ball. Did y'all see that touchdown celebration for the Houston Texans when they did the baby boy?
No, I didn't see it.
Y'all didn't see that one?
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't see it. I didn't.
Yo, that's the only reason I wanted to do game ball, not so game ball. They CJ Stroud makes the touchdown. They all line up.
Yeah, I did see that.
And you saw it, Byron? I'm telling y'all, check that out. That's one of the best touchdown celebrations right now.
I'll try to pull that up during for the end of the show.
I thought you meant the when he choked up Tyrese in the game, like the Draymond.
That's probably coming. That's for sure.
Well,
I know somebody going to do that.
But then again, no, it don't. They don't need to come. They don't need to come.
Dre, you got the picks for week 12 and then week
Yes,
13.
sir. So for week 12, me and Unc went 11-4. Byron and Cravante, y'all went 10-5.
I think Ronte's
Seahawks Cowboys. Seahawks Cowboys on Thursday. You can give me the Cowboys. Make this
You
quick.
said Seahawks Cowboys?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cowboys, yeah.
Yeah, everybody rolling with Dallas. Because I don't know what happened to Seattle, man. They done started
Geno
trending
Smith
down.
is starting to turn into the man. Well, then you know he's not. No, never mind. They're just not good.
Chargers.
But the
Patriots.
thing is, with Seattle though, I don't know. Like with draft standards, it's not like they're going to get a really good quarterback with where they're at. So
Well, they're gonna make the playoffs, probably.
they'll make the
they'll barely make it, but they'll make it.
Well, I think they got a lot of draft picks though, Dre, from the Russell Wilson trade. Remember that they got a lot of draft picks, so they might be
They
able to
do,
draft
but I mean, are they going to get like a Bo or somebody like that? I don't know. So that's something.
Chargers. Patriots. You give me the Chargers.
Chargers. Patriots.
I want the Patriots to win so
Steelers.
bad. I want the Patriots to win so bad, yo. Oh my gosh, they fired Brandon Staley right there. I want them to win so bad,
bro. If
but,
they do,
man.
he's getting let go right there.
God damn it! I wish I had a little clipboard so I could do this.
You walk back to LA.
There you go.
But no, I'll go with the Chargers because the Patriots just can't score, man.
And no,
Cardinals.
Bill Belichick needs to go. That's the problem. He needs
Cardinals.
to go.
Steelers.
Also,
Cardinals, Steelers.
Steelers.
It's easy.
I think.
Colts. Titans.
Ooh, Colts. Going to run
Yeah,
with
I'm
the
gonna go
Colts.
with the Colts too. Cravante, is he frozen?
He did say his phone was acting
I
up.
think he said his phone was acting up.
He'll be back.
Okay.
Broncos. Texans.
Ooh.
This is for a playoff.
That's
I'm going with the
game
Broncos. Gotta go with the
This
Broncos.
is a playoff game right here.
You going with the Broncos?
Rolling with
tempted
they
to go-
on a
I'm
5-game
tempted to
winning
go with-
streak. I said he going a 6-game winning streak.
I'm tempted to go with Houston, bro. It's in Houston.
Let's ride. You're gonna
I'm
ride
going
with
with
the
Houston.
Broncos.
I'm going with Houston.
Give me the Broncos too. Man. I think their defense is playing very well. The rest is cooking.
Russ is definitely cooking right now. Numbers
Texans were close. They're right there trying to get trying to get into the playoffs. They know that they need a victory, and they should have beat the Jaguars. I'm gonna roll with the Texans.
Lions. Saints.
Going with the knee cappers.
Yeah, I think the Lions bounce back. They have to.
Agreed. Cravante, you back with us? Oh, maybe. Okay. Well, Falcons. Jets.
Damn. Dude.
Ooh. I'm gonna go with Atlanta.
I'm gonna go with Atlanta too.
Atlanta.
You know what? The Falcons are going to Falcon. Give me the Jets.
Not a
They're
bad
going
call.
Falcon.
Not a bad call. Not a bad call.
Cravante, real quick. Lions, Saints, Broncos, Texans, Colts, Titans. We got to get your picks for those.
Lions. Okay, what's the first one? You said Lions who?
Lions, Saints.
Lions. Okay, Lions. Bounce back.
Broncos, Texans, both teams 6-5. This is basically a playoff game.
Where is it at?
It's in Houston.
Give me Houston. Give my boy CJ in them. Give my
you
boy
too?
CJ in them.
You too?
Yeah, let me get
Okay,
CJ in them.
So that's what I said too. I said they need it.
Titans.
Who's that type? Colts.
Colts, Titans.
I like the Titans. I'm gonna go with the Titans.
wow,
That's
okay.
a tough one. That's a tough one. I'm gonna go with the Titans though.
I can see that. Dolphins, Commanders. We know what that one's going to do.
Dolphins.
Panthers, Buccaneers. We can all that one.
Buccaneers.
I can't pick the Panthers now, man. I can't pick the Panthers. So Bucks.
425. Eagles. 49ers at Eagles. I know Corey will be watching this one.
Ooh, 49ers.
You know what? I know we just had Corey on the show. The 49ers, they fully healthy, and this is a revenge game. So the 49ers are going to treat this how the Eagles treated the Chiefs game. I'm going to roll with the 49ers.
Look, Corey, if you still watching, I love you, brother, but I can't roll with the Eagles on this one because the Eagles, I mean, they went tooth and nail on Sunday night. I think they take an L this weekend coming up.
I picked the 49ers to go to the Super Bowl, so I'm holding on to that one. And they're going to need this game right here. I'm going to go with the 49ers.
I'm just going to pick the Eagles because y'all picked the 49ers.
Now, I will say this. Well, two things. This should have been the Sunday night game. And then also, if the Eagles lose this game and they face them again in the NFC Conference Championship, the Eagles will win that game. I'll say that. I'd say I think that's how it'll happen. Whoever loses this, and if they face each other again in the playoffs, they'll win that one.
Browns, Rams. Rams are still alive in the NFC playoff picture, and I'm going with them this week to beat the Browns.
I'm gonna roll with
Joe
the
Flacco probably starting, by the way. Right.
I'm rolling with the Rams because I don't think Myles Garrett is playing.
Indeed.
So Byron, you said the Browns?
I got the Rams, brother.
You got the Rams.
Joe Flacco
Okay,
starting for
sorry.
the Browns.
The Rams.
Yeah. And then you
The
said
Rams,
the Rams.
the Rams.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Rams too. Sorry, everybody with the Rams. Sorry.
Yeah.
Chiefs, Packers on Sunday night.
Okay, come on, man. You already know what it is.
Going rolling with the Chiefs.
And then Bengals, Jaguars on Monday night. My goodness.
Everybody
Jags,
knows.
run that thing
up.
I wish they could have flexed this to Monday or something. The 49ers Eagles at this point. Damn.
That's what I said. I said that should have been the damn Sunday night game, the damn 49ers and Eagles game.
Yeah,
Nobody wants to see this.
This network turf war gotta stop, man. If it's a good game, allow it to get flexed so people can actually see it. On
Fox
national
ain't
stage.
giving that shit up, yo.
Nope.
I agree.
Nope. You know the Fox got the NFC anyway.
This is ridiculous.
Honestly, even the Denver Texans game, that would have been a better slot for like Monday Night Football. Some of these games, man.
Oh yeah, at least move that to 425. Something. But I don't know. Come on, you ready to get goofy, man? Get out of here.
Yes, sir.
Pull him up. It's time for Cavante's Goofies of the Week.
Hello, gosh. Something wrong here.
Always good to have my good brother Goofy join us every week, every Monday.
Well, now that's goofy.
There it is. Welcome, good people, to Goofies of the Week, sponsored by the Flex Zone. Appreciate you guys for giving me a little bit of time. Tell the good people what I thought was goofy. Excuse me, goofy this week. As y'all know, I have two levels of goofiness. We have the funny goofy, where we can laugh about it, we can joke about it, and the hopes that it does not grow into a higher level goofy and it just remains funny, something we can go back to. And that's Jack Green. And a high level goofy is Cardinals sent red. That's when things have gotten too far, when things have gotten out of hand. We have to figure out what's going on. We have to talk about this, and in the hopes that we come to a conclusion that is not as goofy as where we currently are. So I have two. I would try my best to keep it short for the sake of time. I have a lower level goofy this week, and it's funny because I said it's Jet Green, and the low level goofy is the New York Jets. Once again, on another holiday, they make themselves look extra goofy, just extra funny. But this is funny because it's like I have to, Raj, see, I expect something goofy to happen anytime the Jets play and it's a holiday, because they always give us a treat. They always give us a present. They always give us something that we do not forget, and we love it. Look, Byron, we love it. Wow. We love it. And the Jets have given us a new name for what they just done. Yes, there's more than just the butt fumble. They have is it reverse Hail Mary pick six? My heavens. Just when you thought there's a chance that you could get some points before halftime, they throw a pick. And now do they just throw a pick? Because that stuff happens all the time. There's picks on Hail Marys all the time. But this brother got a pick and took it 99 yards to the crib. Big ups to him. I got it. Byron, I get the brother's name that took it 99 yards for a pick six. Big big ups to him. Did it on national television because it was the only game on TV, and it was on Black Friday. Is that the first game that was on Black Friday?
Yes, and Javon Holland.
Mr. Holland. He got that interception, and his eyes just got big because all he saw was fat boys in front of him, and he said, "Oh, I could go this way, then I could go this way, and then I could go back this way," because it was only one athlete. I think that was a running back. I think it was Brees Hall. Brees Hall was the only one who could really, once he got a full head of steam, Brees Hall was the only one that could tackle him at that point. But the Jets being the Jets, things like there's some things that just are associated with certain teams, and this is one of those things that are associated with the New York Jets. Moving on. Again, high level goofy, got to get talked about, and I'm gonna keep talking about it. It's the goddamn Commanders. It's the goddamn Commanders again. How dare y'all lay this big old goose egg? Well, you scored more than you scored, but that was a goose egg performance. You laid several eggs. I don't know if you got off the. I don't know if you got on the plane. I don't know if you got off the plane. I don't know if y'all partied the day before, but you couldn't have because it was a short week and you was on the road. Like the lack of preparedness that goes in with this team. I feel like they take Byron. I think they take an extra day off during the week. I think everybody's day off is usually typically like Tuesday. I think they take Tuesday and Wednesdays off. Whatever the day is for their install day, I think they take that first day off. Because wow, like Ron, and this again, Ron Rivera. I'm glad Jack Del Rio's gone. He got fired on Black Friday, which is cool. That probably should be a trend. I know we got Black Monday as a thing, and for the Monday after the season's over, but Black Friday may be a thing too. But the lack of preparedness, ill prepared, Ron Rivera. I feel like he's doing nothing. All he's doing is got his arms are folded. This is it. This is all he does. His arms are folded. How was it that? There it is, Raj. How is it that Josh Harris choose to have a conversation with Ron Rivera, and Ron Rivera's his answer, his solution was to fire Jack Del Rio and the DB's coach? No, brother. Josh Harris, Magic Johnson, whoever you talk to, why the hell are you talking to him? Why? Why are you talking to him? We've seen this, and even if Josh Harris and the ownership group, this is your first year, cool. Look at this team's track record. Look at this team's track record with Ron Rivera. If you want to go deeper, look at Ron Rivera's track record. I think he's been coaching about 15 years or so. He's had less than a handful of winning seasons. Less than a handful. Not five. I don't think he has 5. I think he has about 3 winning seasons. And one of them was Cam Newton's that amazing, his MVP year, when I believe they went 15-1 and went to the Super Bowl, and unfortunately lost to Von Miller and the Denver Broncos. But I don't understand how you can talk to Ron Rivera and ask him what he think y'all should do. You shouldn't ask him nothing. You should have asked him. You should have not. You should have gave him his walking papers along with Jack Del Rio, whoever the hell else you wanted to fire. But Ron Rivera should have been the domino that failed, and unfortunately, it did not. And I'm hearing reports that saying Josh Harris and the ownership group is not going to fire Ron Rivera. And I'm not one to call for another man's job, but when you're piss poor at it, I feel like you got to go. And I'm also not for really in season firings unless it's like you like on the Urban Meyer side of the game, or you just look like a deer in headlights like Nathaniel Hackett. Personally, I wouldn't have fired Frank Reich, but that's a different story. Ron Rivera, does not deserve to be head coach in this here NFL. For damn sure not for the Commanders. Got to stop. Got to do better. 45-10. We need another blowout loss. Because I feel like they're saying, hey, we're going to keep Ron Rivera. We're going to keep Ron Rivera. Now, mind you, he has no more cards to play. Jack Del Rio was his last card he could play. Regardless, he's leaving at the end of the year. But if I don't know who we got. Our last winnable game may be the Jets. I need us to get beat severely bad against the Jets, and he'll probably get fired. That's the only way he'll get fired. But there's no more sense in me doing Commanders reports because they've been the same the past 3-4 weeks. Trash. Get rid of Ron Rivera. Get rid of Jack Del Rio. Trash. Everybody needs to go except for Eric Bieniemy. Trash. Now, at this point, Eric Bieniemy may be on the outs too, which is unfortunate for him. But yes, Commanders dropping that goose egg on national television to your rival. I can't even call it a rival because you have to at least win some games to call it a rivalry. And the Giants is not a rivalry. The Eagles may be the closest one to a rivalry because that's the only games that we actually are competitive in. Cowboys doing whatever the hell they want to us. But shout out to Sam Howell for getting his first win against the Cowboys. But unfortunately, it looks like he's going to change coordinators and head coaches again, which I hate for a young quarterback, but it is what it is. But those are my goofies of the week. The Commanders being of the high-level goofy variety and the New York Jets of the low-level variety. Got to do better. And y'all know my line. There's a thin line between goofy and great. And these organizations are on the wrong end of it. Got to do better.
Of course. Something wrong here.
Well, now that's goofy.
Oh, here you go, Roger. I'll show you the celebration I got pulled up for you. Can you see the screen? There you go.
Pow!
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And that ball went down just like they drew it up. It's like he's acting his butt off.
He said,
Of course, the announcers didn't know what it
don't
was.
flinch or I'm going to hit you with 2.
Of course, the announcers didn't know what that was. But it's all good.
Oh, man.
Unfortunate.
And then what was funny was the dude on NFL Network for the for game day final. He knew it. My man's knew. Dang, I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
but
Scott
he knew
Hansen.
it.
Scott Hansen.
But man, no, it was. I don't think it was Scott Hansen. It was
Oh,
the
my
other
bad.
dude.
You said
The
NFL
other
game day final.
Yeah,
never
game day
mind.
final.
Never mind. It might have been the running back. It was the running back.
No, it wasn't Maurice Jones-Drew. It was the other guy on there. The other guy who does it with him.
I know you're talking about.
But the Scott Hansen, that could have been your goofy too, Gravante.
Oh my gosh, you're right. You know what? I looked at it. I said, "Yo, is the alarm going off?"
And my man just kept going with the broadcast. He was like, "Well, we're just gonna keep these highlights going."
Nah, it's about to be a red zone, and then that's what he tripping.
Episode 419.
You're right. That would have been a good one. That would have been a good one.
Man, we college football, man. I think that's something that we definitely got to get into, man. We haven't, I think, gotten into it enough. We talked about, the Ohio State and Michigan, but I mean, basically right now, the college football playoffs, we're about to really see who's going to be seated where, and who deserves to be seated. I mean, right now, should Alabama get in Oregon? So I mean, it's a lot to talk about with college football.
More teams.
More
teams.
I mean, next year is 12 teams, so
we need that. I'm tired of this.
No Ravens this week. They're on a bye, but I may get some more Ravens videos out. We'll see what happens. Twitter, Instagram, the Flex Zone 1. Make sure you hit that Cash App, the Flex Zone 1. Only place giving you sports how you want it, fellas.
When you
you
need it.
Flex Zone Podcast on TikTok. Throw your ones up. Acknowledge the head of the sports podcast table. Shout out to Corey one more time
Yes.
for joining us, talking about his experiences and his Eagles. Always good to have him on. Executive producer Andre Melton, senior producer Cravante Hurd, Big Raj on social media. Yours truly, God's favorite host and associate producer. Only place giving you sports how you want it when you need it. We'll be back Wednesday for AEW. Check out all the videos on the channel. A lot of content. Appreciate all you guys watching us this past weekend for Survivor Series. Have over 4,000 views on that video. All the shorts as well. Thank you guys. Can't thank you enough. Appreciate you. Flex Zone Podcast heading into 2024 better and even better than before. So check out the channel. It's the best thing I can tell you. Hit the bell, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. For Raj, for Cravante, for Dre. Once again, shout out to everybody in the comment section. Our guest Corey. And God's favorite host signing off, putting the kids to bed. Episode 419 next Monday. We'll be talking about the college football playoff. We'll probably talk a little about the Colorado situation as well, since those things are percolating. Shador said he's not playing anymore this season, so I think that season is over anyway.
Well, we
so
get to talk about Colonel Deion Sanders and his team of misfits.
Yes, we'll talk about Deion. We'll talk about the teams that we think should be in the playoff, because we got some championship games this weekend, conference championship games. Then we'll get into the NFL and go from there. And LeBron James, largest loss of his career. I didn't know that. 44 points tonight. He got the belt. It's Flex Zone Podcast.
Byron, he just broke the record for most minutes played in the NBA.
He's breaking all the records. Have a good night, everybody, as we leave you with the wonderful sounds of the belt.
Best sports podcast in the world.
LeBron got it. The Commanders got it. Give it to them all.
But the Wizards ain't get it though.
Yes, the Wizards did win tonight. I can't even play it. So shout out to the Wizards. Flex on Podcast. Have a good night, everybody.